I mean, why would a Pop-Tart want to live inside a toaster, Rick?
Whether heated in the toaster or eaten straight out of the aluminum packets they come enclosed in, Pop-Tarts are definitely one of North America's favorite breakfast treats. For those on the go, they're a perfect way to get something in the stomach when there is little time for meal preparation. But for those that have Pop-Tarts on the regular, even they may be surprised to know just how many incredible flavors are out there. Every single one as outrageous as the one before. Here are 10 Pop-Tarts flavors you didn't know existed. Orange Cream Pop-Tart.
Wow, my God, so creamy.
When summer is on the way, those hot, sweltering days will no doubt include lots of fun, outdoor camping trips and days spent lounging by the poolside. Of course, along with the weather comes a multitude of frozen treats to choose from. People all over North America will be stocking their freezers with flavor after flavor of frozen pops and ice cream bars. And probably one of the most popular of those is none other than the frozen orange ice cream bar. The taste here is definitely unbeatable, as you've got the vanilla ice cream at the center and the orange flavor coating around it, giving an all-around epic taste.
Delicious.
And it's a great way to stave off a bit of the old summer heat. Well, as it turns out, the good people at Kellogg's have created a Pop-Tart that has the exact same flavor as the aforementioned ice cream bar. So it doesn't have to be summer for one and all to enjoy that great orange cream taste. But who says you can't enjoy a warm orange cream Pop-Tart on a nice morning, even if it is in the middle of July? Red Velvet Pop Tart.
Ooh, red velvet.
And yes, even the red velvet cake has made it to the Pop-Tart plant. This cake that has lured many foodies into having a second and third helping of dessert. A cake rich in flavor, and let's face it, some pretty odd ingredients. There's a lot of food coloring that goes into the red velvet, and interestingly enough, some vinegar actually goes into the batter of this one.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But in spite of all that, the cake is a revelation in terms of flavor and gooey goodness. From the cake itself to the sweet cream cheese frosting. The word epic comes to mind, but we don't want to go overboard here. Kellogg's has launched a red velvet Pop-Tart, and although it can be considered only a limited edition item, as a lot of these Pop-Tarts on this list are, it sure pleased a lot of Pop-Tart lovers out there. It's very nice to have other options outside of the norm, and this one's definitely out of the norm. Red velvet for breakfast. Who would have thought? A&W Root Beer Pop-Tart.
Root beer is super water.
Now, we love root beer as much as the next person. A tasty cheeseburger, some onion rings, and a cold root beer can definitely go a long way. But we'd probably have to draw the line on this one, as a root beer flavored Pop-Tart can't be good. Can it? Maybe we're on the fence about it, as many people probably are, as you wouldn't think that root beer would be a sought-after flavor for an item usually eaten at breakfast time. And yes, we are fully aware that Pop-Tarts are also an epic snack food, replacing cookies and sometimes even dessert for quite a few people out there.
I suppose everybody's too full to eat the Pop-Tarts I made for dessert.
So maybe by those standards, this particular flavor can actually be considered okay in the end. But this one too is a limited time Pop-Tart, and it may or may not return again, as a lot of limited edition items often seem to find their way back on the shelves. Orange Crush Pop-Tart.
All the orange soda spilled out of my cereal.
As we can see, root beer isn't the only soda flavor that the good people at Kellogg's have been playing around with. Crush is definitely one of the hottest sodas around, with orange, grape, strawberry, pineapple, and watermelon among their offerings, with orange being their most popular flavor. And it's definitely a great soda. Sweet and flavorful, really there's nothing wrong with it. But to think of it as a Pop-Tart flavor is pretty outrageous.
That's crazy talk.
Considering the sweetness of the soda itself, we'd think that a Pop-Tart label to have the orange crush stamp behind it would be pretty sweet as well, and maybe a tad too sweet. So maybe starting one's day with that much sugar is the perfect way to raising the blood sugar a tad too much, in our estimation. So as far as orange goes, we'd stick with the orange cream Pop-Tart. Maple Bacon Pop-Tarts.
It's bacon and maple syrup.
Now this one's pretty promising if you ask us. We mean, you say the word bacon and most people will perk up and ask, did you say bacon? Indeed we did. Kellogg's is pulling out all of the stops for this one. Bacon is the one ingredient that can make almost anything better, and it's North America's favorite ingredient, period. Bacon and cream cheese sandwiches, anyone? How about bacon and peanut butter? You name the combination, and bacon will make it work, at least 9 times out of 10. But here, Kellogg's actually went for a tried, tested, and true combination, as bacon and maple have been going together on breakfast dishes since the dawn of time.
Nothing beats the taste sensation when maple syrup collides with ham.
We mean, who hasn't had a bit of the maple syrup from their pancakes get on their crispy bacon? It happens, and the flavor combination is indeed epic to say the least. Now, this is one outrageous Pop-Tart flavor that would in fact fit perfectly at breakfast time for obvious reasons. Can you just imagine the beautiful, mouth-watering aroma escaping the toaster?
Ooh, what is that amazing smell?
Watermelon Pop-Tart.
Look, fellas, we just want to eat some watermelon and relax if you're all right with that.
When they're ripe and ready to slice open, watermelons are probably one of the sweetest tasting fruits around. And if they're chilled just right, they're better than any frozen ice cream bar or treat in existence. Fruits are an ever-popular go-to for artificial flavor creators, and Pop-Tarts are no exception. But watermelon-flavored Pop-Tarts? Really? Yes! In fact, Pop-Tarts has done 2 watermelon-flavored versions of their pastry treats, one being a traditional watermelon fruit flavor and the other being a Jolly Rancher watermelon flavor.
There are no more Jolly Ranchers, they're all gone!
These are distinctively different in color, as the Jolly Rancher version features a bright green frosting base with pink swirls, and the standard watermelon fruit flavor features a pink frosting base with bright green swirls. The filling is said to be where the tastes differ the most. These may not be the easiest to get your hands on. The Jolly Rancher version is still widely available, but the original watermelon flavor was discontinued, then brought back as a limited edition run, which can be difficult to find now. Festival Fun Pop Tart.
Super Silly Fatland! Can we go, please?
This is a weird one from the folks at Kellogg's. What are some sweet tastes that we correlate with a festival? Cotton candy, deep-fried candy bars, candy apples, caramel corn? Well, Kellogg's went with frosted vanilla ice cream cone for their limited edition run of their Festival Fun Pop Tarts. In defense of Kellogg's, maybe they were planning a multi-flavor release of this Festival Fun lineup, and they were going to add the more traditional festival flavors later on.
I'll do it later, Morty. He'll be fine.
However, the vanilla ice cream cone flavor was not a hit with fans, and it was the only release to feature the Festival Fun moniker. Who knows, maybe these 2 ideas would have done better on their own. Pop-Tarts already has many popular ice cream-based flavors, including an entire ice cream shop line. And maybe the frosted vanilla ice cream cone could have been more successful if released under that banner. And surely the more traditional festival-type flavors would have caught shoppers' eyes under the Festival Fun banner. But such is life, and unfortunately for us, that means no cotton candy, deep-fried candy bar Pop-Tarts flavors. For now, anyways. Chocolate Banana Split.
It's called a banana split. It's quite possibly one of the greatest things in the universe.
Banana Split, being an ice cream shop favorite, is an easy go-to for the flavor makers at Kellogg's, who have time and time again made amazing flavor creations based on ice cream and other frozen treats. The packaging for these Pop-Tarts shows one amazing 3-scoop chocolate banana split sundae that any ice cream fan would be envious of. They went all out here with the pastry, featuring white frosting to emulate vanilla ice cream, a yellow filling to emulate the banana, as well as a brown filling to emulate the chocolate.
I love chocolate.
They even went as far as adding sprinkles on top of the frosting to complete the treat. Like you've seen in this list so far, Kellogg's makes creations that are unique, and they aren't afraid to go far outside the box to come up with new flavors. So while this may not seem like a traditional idea for a pastry, Kellogg's have outdone themselves yet again, turning another classic ice cream treat into a delicious Pop-Tart offering for their fans. Dulce de Leche Pop Tart.
Dulce de leche.
Here, the flavor seems a tad more exotic than it actually is, but it definitely merited a spot on our list, as it isn't a typical flavor you'd expect to see at your local grocery store, of course other than when it's offered on a limited edition basis. Basically, dulce de leche is a fancy way of saying caramel cream sauce, or perhaps butterscotch if you prefer. Of course, the comparison isn't identical. The origin of this sweet treat is actually from Latin America, which has laid claim to creating this particular gastronomic offering. Of course, North Americans will be apt to calling it caramel or butterscotch, as it's just easier to pronounce.
Caramels.
And dulce de leche does closely resemble these sweet offerings. It is similar most to caramel, but isn't quite like it. The substance is made by heating sweetened condensed milk until the desired consistency is reached. The process is known as the Maillard reaction, which is the slow browning of foods, particularly sugars. To see this flavor in a Kellogg's Pop Tart is pretty interesting, as it brings a touch of the whole worldly element to the Pop Tart brand, and at the end of the day, that isn't a bad thing. Its resemblance to caramel would definitely make it a hit in any market, so yeah, we definitely would buy into this one. Guava Mango Pop Tart.
Oh, sounds so exotic.
Now here's a tropical sort of treat we never would have guessed would have come in the form of a Pop Tart of all things. The watermelon flavor was the closest we got to island breezes and umbrella drinks by the beach. That was until the bakers at Kellogg's decided to go with this fruity combo, and what a combination it is! Guava is a fruit that isn't seen all that much in the northern portion of the States, and especially Canada, where climates are a tad cooler and even shipping these fruits presents a wee bit of a problem. But they are predominantly found in tropical regions and are actually quite affordable there. Mangoes, on the other hand, are quite popular in North America as well, and the flavor has been used for many juices and other food products. So the people at Kellogg's probably thought, why not?
Why not, indeed?
After all, as we've seen thus far, they aren't short of crazy flavor ideas for a breakfast item that had a humble beginning of offering only 4 distinct flavors, all of which weren't even frosted at the time, ultimately expanding into the list of possible flavors that we have today. The frosting came a tad bit later, and the world hasn't looked back since. But again, maybe the tropical combo here isn't the greatest of directions for a Pop-Tart of all things, but at least at the end of the day, we've got options as consumers. Treat yourself to more and tap that screen for our next great video. Checking us out for the first time? Then take a second to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to join our notification squad.